Life is delicious with perfectly cooked meals, and it becomes the ultimate joy when you live with the cook for over 20 years. It becomes dreadful to even think about the sudden disappearance of your perfect companion for an unknown cause. A similar thing happens with Didlon, who lost his perfect cook and lover Eugene. So, the story is all about the perfection of culinary art and companionship. It starts with the perfectly sharpened forks and knives of Eugene in Didion's kitchen. She embraces the beauty of cooking and does magic on the stove. She picks the vegetables from her own garden and pours them right into the container after chopping them perfectly. Her precise knowledge of cleaning, pouring, cutting, and cooking meat and vegetables makes her the perfect cook. She is preparing the mouth-watering meal with two others. Violet is the helper, and Pauline is the young girl with exceptional taste buds. Didion tested her inherited perfect knowledge of culinary art by letting her taste the famous Bourguignon sauce. She precisely guesses all the ingredients and amuses everyone with her exceptional skills. The tables have been set with exquisite dishes, and Didion's squad of 4 truly embraces every bite and every sip. They are celebrating the birth of a baby with one of their doctor friends. Eugene is fatigued and feels dizzy while stirring the soup. Pauline, who is new in the kitchen, feels for her, but she claims to have just had an exhaustion break. She never takes her faint spells seriously and ignores her health while in the kitchen, because it is more like her passion to put the ingredients together and make magic through them. Dodden and his friends embrace her like a gift and appreciate her efforts in everything. She makes the magic of crayfish dipped in the creamy sauce and sautés the boiled potatoes on low heat, served with fabulous wine. Lastly, it was served with enriched bacon and a whipped cream trifle, which was fired with blazing flames. This is the recipe of the Grand Chef of Blazak, who named it Baked Alaska. Pauline is about to cry with the first bite of it due to its perfect texture, taste, and tone. She can't explain the goodness of such a miracle. In other words, Eugene is blessed to have such compliments. She embraces every word of appreciation with a big smile and charming eyes. Dodden's friend misses her presence at the dining table, but she needs to be back in the kitchen to have their perfect bites. However, she tastes everything before putting it on the table to have this wonderful experience of hearty meals. The friends call her a real artist who knows the amount of every pinch and every grain falling into the container. Pauline really considers her an artist, but she shows her the picture of real food artists. They are the chefs from the past, but Eugene is no less than the best chef in the world. She has been cooking even before meeting the Didion. Her parents were pastry chefs in Paris, and her mother was her teacher long before she met Dodden. A few minutes after the liquor was served, Dodden got the invitation from the prince. The royal family is setting up a restaurant, and they want the best chefs in the town to inaugurate the refined taste. Dodden accepts the invitation because he has been begged to accept it. Eugenie gets to know about the invitation, and she is excited for Dodden to join the prime chef's table. She also serves the best desserts after dinner, and Dodden exchanges warm regards for her finest taste. He also tries his luck by proposing to her for marriage once again. But she doesn't want to commit to any relationship because they share a strong companionship even without marriage. They share better communication and intimacy than most of the spouses. She has rejected the marriage proposal several times before, but Dodden wants to try until the end. He can also go to her room whenever he likes, and they enjoy the desert breaks together like others enjoy after marriage. She also wants to take Pauline into her apprenticeship because she has the finest taste among the young. Dodden approves of Pauline serving under her supervision. Dodden enjoys a mysterious meal with his friends by putting drapes on their heads. Eugenie reaches out to Pauline's parents for the offer. They let her visit their farms and show them their ripe, fresh vegetables. They also share some tips to keep the crops healthy, which include antennas made of aluminum. They test the results of crops with and without these antennas and are astounded by the difference. Eugene is impressed by the technique. Dodden reaches home and rushes to Eugenie because Violet informs her that she has been in the room all day. He is worried about her health, but she is taking it for granted once again. She is out to make his dinner, and both inform each other of their days. Pauline's parents want time to think about the decision. The next morning, Dodden reaches the prince with his 4 friends, and they enjoy listening to the menu. The chef presents them with the best dishes and liquors. They eat up to the fullest and can't take their spoons off until the chef presents them with delicious desserts. They are full, but the wonderful aromas stick them to the tables. The meal lasted for 8 hours, and the prince was generous enough to serve them for that long. They also admire the drinks, and Dodden wants something competitive for the prince. Therefore, he has to work on the menu very carefully. His friends want Eugenie to reveal his menu before he can tell him. She sneaks in and informs them about the boiled beef and vegetables. They are pleased to have a friend with such fine taste and choices. He wants to serve the country with an equal fat and balanced diet. Eugenie is working on her new project, growing vegetables. She mimics the aluminum antennas, but her health can't support them, and she faints in the middle of them. Dodden freaks out to see her lying under a tree. Luckily, his doctor friend was nearby, and they ran a quick checkup on her. She seemed a little stressed, but she was doing fine after about an hour. However, Dodden is still worried about Eugenie's deteriorating health and prepares broth for her. He leaves her without a healthy diet to help her get better. She is willing to send the invitation to the prince, but he wants her to rest. He prepares the customized chicken soup by wrapping it in a net cloth and presenting it to his love. She likes it very much and admires his efforts with the desserts and the finest champagne. He bought 3 bottles of champagne, which spent 50 years at the bottom of the ocean because of a shipwreck at an auction. He let her taste the drink and quoted a Chinese poet who sacrificed his entire life for his wife. But Eugenie is not his wife but a cook, so he decides to prepare a bite for her mouth to make her realize the intense emotions he is feeling about her. He prepares a pear-soaked cake with a wedding ring hidden in it. He advises Violet to place it in a certain position so that she can notice the ring. Finally, she accepted his proposal, and they announced their wedding in the autumn part of the year. Dodden admires Eugenie's beauty by relating it to the grapes and pears that grow during the season. He can write poetry about food and how it plays a part in everyone's life. He also admires the companionship and connection they share due to cooking every day with each other. However, he is a lover of all seasons because each of them brings their own vegetables and fruits. However, Eugenie loves the summer sun, which enlightens the soul. Hence, after her full recovery, Dodden wants to finalize the menu for the prince retreat. She calls it very basic, but Dodden wants him to experience his personal pot à feu. While discussing the menu, Eugenie blacks out in Dodden's arms. The doctors are unable to diagnose her illness. Although she seems fine all day, there's something unnoticeable eating her inside. She gets better after an hour, but they are still concerned. She tries to console the worried Dune with sweet memories of all those 20 years. However, it was so uncertain that she was saying goodbye. Dodden found her dead the next morning. It was the most depressing day for him, and he didn't wait for days. Her last rituals haunted his mind, and he slept for days and he drowned in despair. Violet tries to make him eat, but he refuses. His friends try to console him by every means, but he finds himself guilty of not taking her illness seriously. They encourage his love and attention for her, but he is still sad. Therefore, they decide to replace her memories with those of a new cook. A lady uses her apron to cook for Dodden, but he gets super furious. He kicks her out by snatching the apron of his love, making her angrier and even more disturbed. Hence, they apologize and decide to ignore such suggestions forever. Pauline's parents request that Dodden accept her as his apprentice because she feels depressed after Eugenie's death. But Dodden doesn't think of himself as worth her teacher. Therefore, he refuses, but they decide to give Pauline another chance to talk to him. Finally, a few days later, he agrees to give Pauline a chance and take her with him. She is learning and growing to have the finest taste, just like Eugenie, and they give several cooks the opportunity to show their talents. Dodden doesn't want to kill Eugenie's memories and wants to continue the stove. He wants to relive the memories. However, no one reaches for their best chef's skills. After trying on several cooks in the town, they give up on their hope. He also provides the recipe for Eugenie's signature soup to a well-experienced cook. But she is not confident enough to prepare it. The soup is named after Eugenie and contains the love and compassion of her late wife. He starts teaching Pauline the art of cooking and how things are managed to keep the food fresh and hot. He shares the secret of blocking the steam with dough. The little Pauline is doing her best to understand the challenges of generating the finest tastes. Although Didon is trying hard to reach Eugenie's cooking skills, he is unable to forget her taste. He watched her cook and eat every day. Her lips and hands were more intense, and she was compassionate while eating. He has never been able to confess his true feelings to her, and he regrets all the unsaid words he has said to her. Suddenly, his friend appears here with a packed dish. He is excited to show them the texture and taste of it. Didon realizes that the sea bream is perfectly cooked after heating it on a low flame for a long time. It is equivalent to respecting the fish like all other foods and giving it precisely what is needed to prepare it. He is compelled to know about the cook to see the spices' perfection and the dedication she put into preparing them. He analyzes the concentration of each spice and finds the perfect bite. He eagerly runs to meet the ideal hands. Pauline also tries to feel the taste of it, but she is required to rush for the cook. She joins them, and they find the shadow of their beloved Eugenie after so many trials. If you like this movie, remember to subscribe to the channel.